Can I ask you a question? When you look at your relationships in your life, are you happy with them? This is where so many people stumble with manifesting, is in relationship to other people. So today we're really going to dive deep into that so you can create the kind of relationships that you effing deserve. Welcome, fellow Voyagers, to Odyssey Human, the place where I help you hack through the jungles of consciousness so you can discover the hidden treasures inside of you. My friends, it's all there, ready and waiting to be activated by you, through you, and for you. If that sounds good, please subscribe. We'd love to have you join us. And who am I? I'm Jess. I'm a manifestation coach and a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, which means I'm a personal trainer for your mind. I want to give you applicable, practical strategies to take manifestation out of the clouds and into your reality. So if you want to work with me, details on coaching are in the description box below. What are your patterns in relationships? When you look at the cross-section of your relationships over time, you're going to see patterns. You are going to see patterns. And what we accept as normal of like, oh, this is just what happened. This is just what happened in this relationship and that relationship and that relationship. But really it's based on our imaginings. Now, if you haven't watched the videos from the last couple of weeks, I recommend you check those out because I'm going to be building on the concepts of that video. They'll help clarify and cement these ideas. So often we can accept these patterns in relationships as what's normal and learn from them. What we learn is that all men are just out for one thing, or men are cheaters, or I can't trust men, or women are backstabbing, or women are emotional, or bigger learnings about relationships. Relationships are just hard, or relationships have a lot of drama and trauma. All of these things that we accept as normal that are really our imaginings. We are imagining all of these things. And when we are in relationship with someone else, we are only ever interacting with ourselves. We're interacting with the version of them that we have created in our own imagination. So when we fight with them, we're really just fighting with ourselves. When we really love on them, we're really loving with ourselves. When we lash out at them, we're lashing out at ourselves. When we get mad at them, we're getting mad at ourselves. How we see them, what we expect from them, how we expect them to behave towards us is our imaginings as well. You're going to find when you're in relationship with someone, you naturally simulate, and this is the word that I have for the type of imagination that you experience when you're just naturally anticipating your next interaction with them or how things are going. Those are your natural imaginings with them of how they're going to behave towards you. When you have this idea of, oh, they're really going to be mad at me when they find out I did this, and then they are, the next time you see them, that was your manifestation because you were expecting them to behave a certain way. So when we want to create relationships that are free of drama and trauma, we have to recognize immediately and take personal accountability for however this person is showing up in my world. Whatever story I am telling about them, of their behavior, is all coming from me. It's all me. And if I want to change that, I'm not going to sit there and argue with them or lash at them or fight with them or do any of the crazy behaviors that can manifest from trying to change them through pounding at the 3D that people do. Engaging in that kind of behavior perpetuates drama and trauma. Trying to fight with the 3D and wrestle with the 3D through another person is drama and trauma. And it's hard on us because we're engaging and believing in this behavior, believing it's really happening, believing we're really fighting with this person. But what's actually happening is we're fighting with ourselves. We're fighting with ourselves. I want you to recognize this and recognize that you can change the relationship, and you have to do it in here. You change the relationship in here. All of this advice, set your boundaries and do this and do that and tell them how you feel and tell them your truth. We don't have to do any of that. We can just go into our mind and change how we see them, the interaction, because all of our interactions, our interpretations, the meaning we're putting on their behaviors, all of this is our imagination. It's our imagination. We have formed this representation of them that we expect to act a certain way. What is normal for you? What have you accepted as normal in the areas of your romantic relationships, your family relationships, your friendships? What do you expect is normal? And that is often what normalcy for you are the things you take for granted, the things that you expect in the context of a particular person, the avatar of a person, or in the bigger picture of what a relationship entails. It's interesting to look at, again, patterns across time in your relationships. You can pinpoint sometimes where a pattern came from. If you grew up in a family that fought a lot, love to you might be fighting. Like that is what you learned. These learnings are actually limitations. They're limitations. Unless they are good and exactly what you want, they're a limitation. They're something you've internalized because it was so normal for you growing up to just be fighting with everyone around you that that's what love was. Like that is now intertwined with this idea of love. If you've noticed as an adult that maybe all your romantic relationships, look at your own behaviors. Do you tend to instigate fights? Do you tend to be like, oh yeah, fighting is normal for me? It's a very subconscious thing. You may not consciously be thinking, I am okay with fighting. It may be traumatic for you to fight with your partner constantly. But if you're engaging in the behaviors, subconsciously engaging them, doing crazy stuff like blocking them or lashing out at them, saying mean and biting things, rejecting them, ghosting them, if you're doing all this dramatic and traumatic stuff that is involved in fighting with another person, you're perpetuating the pattern. You're making it normal by engaging with it and contributing your behaviors towards it. So many people, what they try to do to fix the situation is like they break up with someone. They're like, oh, that person is bad for me. I fight with them all the time. And then what happens is these subconscious expectations that we have carry into the next relationship because every relationship is just us. It's just us all over again. So we tend to get attracted to certain types of people who will fight with us. We just keep perpetuating the pattern in a different avatar, a different person. And this is why I ask you, look at the patterns, the cross section of your romantic relationships, of your friendships, of your family life, and you're going to see certain thoughts and beliefs pop up if you could just summarize them in 1 or 2 sentences. For example, across romantic relationships, I'm always the one getting left. I'm never top priority. That could be the pattern. And even if you go into a new relationship, going through all the emotions and you're so excited and you have that lovey energy, and then suddenly you get rejected, the pattern resurfaces if it feels like you're manifesting kind of automatically, which you are, because it's an expectation, because you've learned this is just how relationships work. And so when it happens, it hurts, it's painful, and you're reacting to it. And you're like, oh, this happened again. Or you may not even recognize it happened again. You may be so grieving in that space because you were feeling the high highs. But this is how manifestation can feel kind of automatic. It comes from these habits that we have, these patterns that we have established as normal. And when you react to it, you are agreeing with it. You're agreeing with it. If someone rejects you and you have this pattern of like, I'm always rejected, and then you decide to do something different, you recognize in that moment, you're like, whoa, I've manifested this experience in my imagination with this other person. Instead of reacting to it and believing that I was actually rejected and believing, oh, this happened again. Oh, this is what's true for me. Oh, this is what's really happening. Recognizing, grounding into that experience of knowing that is what I have been practicing imagining and engaging with. And in this moment, I'm going to stop. I am going to imagine it as something different. I'm going to imagine that this person was having a really hard day and they didn't know what else to do. And it came out in this rejection. They're having a really hard time. I know deep down that they love me. They're so drawn to me. Right? This is how we change our imaginings. We provide the evidence for ourselves. If it's not in the 3D, we provide new evidence for ourselves that the opposite is true, that something different is true. And we keep providing that evidence and interpreting the situation through the lens of that belief. This is how we change our imaginings and imagine something different. We have all these expectations of how we're going to be treated. We have all these learnings of, like I said, of expectations of people based on past events, how they've behaved in the past. Every moment is new. We don't have to keep imagining someone that same way. I have been able to completely reinvent relationships, completely transform them by just dropping that old story, scrubbing that old story, and acknowledging, okay, I contributed to this. I am creating this. I am participating in the imagining of how this situation is, but I can change it right now. I can change it right now. And this person shows up differently. When I approach this person with this refreshed energy, with this renewed imagination, they transform as well because they are my imagination. They are my imagination. So I want to ask you, is drama and trauma normal in your life? What are you expecting? Have you been tolerating drama and trauma for far too long? Is that what, do you believe that's a normal part of what relationships are? And is that true? And this is the beauty. You get to decide. You get to decide because you're the thinker. You're the creator. So you get to make the decision. Drama and trauma is not normal for me anymore. What is normal is loving, peaceful, harmonious, exciting. Think about your romantic relationships being nourishing, fulfilling, and amazing every time you interact with this person. Isn't that what you really want deep down? Or is drama and trauma more attractive? Does that really mean love for you, or friendship, or family? When I was growing up and I was a teenager, we were fighting constantly. And then I transformed how I saw my family, and our family dynamic shifted because of that. I really transformed the way I was thinking about our family and what I wanted in my family dynamic. And because of that, we have an amazing family dynamic. We're like ride or die. We're ride or dies. So look at the cross section of patterns. How are you interpreting? How would you describe, if you had to sum up what's happened in the last few romantic relationships? With your friendships, like how would you describe it if you had to identify a pattern? You are interpreting that a certain way, and that is the belief. That is the belief. And recognizing you may be attracted to that now. You may be participating actively, engaging actively to the relationship. You're pouring into the relationship. Again, going back to the fighting example. If you're someone who just fighting is so normal for you, like you fight all the time with people, you may find being with someone romantically that doesn't fight with you to be really boring. I know that was a pattern that I shed like in my 20s. Like I was constantly just like fighting and bickering with men in my romantic relationships because that was what my family dynamic growing up, that was what was normal. Of just this constant push and pull. Yeah. But that changed as my family dynamic changed. I wanted more harmonious romantic relationships. I really had to shift how I saw what is love? How do I want to show up? How do I want to feel in a relationship? And these simulations of how people interact with us. Remember to include yourself when you're providing new evidence for yourself. Remember to include yourself. How are you different? How are you showing up differently in this new and reimagined relationship? Include yourself, include your own responses. Hear the person, saying and doing the things that would be ideal, that you would really love to hear them say and do. And then feel the feelings, feel those feelings. Hear yourself responding to them, how you would respond. How would you be speaking differently? How would you be showing up? How would you feel in your body? Would you be wearing different clothing? These are all ways to include your self-concept in providing new evidence and reimagining your relationships so that they are exactly what you want. So they nourish and fulfill you, and they're peaceful and harmonious and wonderful and amazing and exciting and fun, instead of dramatic, traumatic, causing you tears, causing you just constant misery. Is constant misery normal for you, or are you going to let it go? My question for you. I've been there, my friend. I have been in 10-year toxic relationships where I didn't even recognize myself at the end. And that one particularly, I transformed. I broke from the person. I took the time to heal myself. And then I came back and was a totally different version of me. And he was a totally different version of him. He actually said to me, wow, I don't even recognize you. It's like night and day. But you don't have to break from them. You don't have to go no contact. It's good to have that feedback because they are you in real time. You can get real feedback in real time and make these micro adjustments, friends, because they are you. They are showing up as you. So use their presence, use their avatar to help you refine where you want to be and reimagine them, reinterpret them in the now moment. And instead of fighting and telling them you're a jerk and why are you treating me this way and trying to set boundaries with them, reimagine them immediately, reinterpret them. Change your perception of them and they will shift. And this is how you can, piece by piece, eliminate all drama and trauma from your relationship. So I know that was helpful. Drop a comment below. I'm happy to engage with you. And if you need a tool to help you make your mind a more peaceful, pleasant, loving place, grab that below. It's available in every video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.